Okay, Saturday morning in the kingdom, and I survived Friday night I survived Friday night at the end of the world. That was a lot of work yesterday, packaging that stuff up, but it has to be done correctly to survive the trip south. And you can't use flimsy pallets and flimsy stuff or whatever, it just falls apart. Not even by the forklift operator or the pallet jack operator, but by the road. It'll just shake apart, bouncing over the so-called road. So we woke up this morning to plus 13 Celsius, but feels like plus 12. Yes, it's warm. And then on the yo-yo scale, plus 56. That's a mistake. Plus 13 Celsius is always plus 55 Fahrenheit. Yes, the good car. Okay. Oh, but it feels like plus 55 Fahrenheit. Oh, the weather station there. It's a little confused. All right. The King of Obsolete adventure book? Yes, I could have died. Which is free as an ebook from August 10th to the 14th. Yes, so please enjoy the link in the description. I haven't figured out how to put the link on the end screen, but that's when I stole the grader. The stories are based in 2009, I think it is. Yes, the grader right there. It has this story how a fellow came from Alberta and he joined us on the great thievery. Yes, not like the great train robbery in England there. Yes, but we stole the complete working grader that was used to maintain the runway at the lodge maybe in the 60s. But it was junk, absolute junk. But we're getting it back on the road. All right, let's go back to scrolling the correct way. All right. So also too, I made another list. Ooh, I have talent. Yes. So the other list here, some YouTube subscribers are saying they're getting unsubscribed. So please check your subscription thing or whatever. Subscribe again or resubscribe. Yes. But also too, we post every evening. So it's just like when you want to watch WKRP back in the day and you didn't have to check the TV guide because you knew at 8 p.m. on a Thursday night, WKRP would be on the air. So we're, how would you say, check every night by 10 p.m. for sure, Kingdom time. And we should have the new video load up. In case there's a great catastrophe here at the Kingdom, we always try to get the new video of the day loaded up. All right. And the comments, we're really enjoying the comments because we're learning. Not just me, everybody. You have to remember there's lots of people that read, don't reply or anything like that, but they're learning too. And that's the whole idea is we got to learn because we're the old school guys. Yes, they're trying to outlaw us. Yes, ban us, bar us. Oh, wait. That's the the WHO-ville reunion group. Yes, I never heard how their reunion went, but oh well, who cares? I live here, I write books about here, but if they don't care about me, I don't care about them. All right. Yes, we got it all on the list. So, okay, let's go back to the regular schedule programming and scrolling around till everybody gets dizzy. Look at the smoke in the air. Yes, smoke on the water. That's a good song. Doot, doot, doot. Oh, God, I can't do that. All right. We'll scroll some more here. Today we're working on the hose shack because we made a mistake last week. So there we are in the hose shack. It's got electric baseboard heat and I'm trying to play with carburetors and stuff like that or work on that stuff. When it was raining, it was cold in there because the extension was never finished. This is when we figured we'd be building the extension, but the, the container doors was too hard on my back, so we just did it right now and then back in the spring. So we got to put a better roof on. We got to make sure we have the hole for the chimney. Get that thing sealed up so when it's a rainy day, I can fire up the wood stove and hide in the hose shack to work on the carburetors. Yes, the carburetors, because we're going to be learning lots on those. I hear a plane arriving. No idea where Dick is, which is nice. Oh, look at those clear skies. It's supposed to be hot today. A hot day, I might have to wear my shorts. Oh, viewer discretion is advised. All right, we better go. Here comes the boss. Okay, let's do a quick recap. That way it refreshes my memory, plus it refreshes the viewers' memories, plus it also gives the new viewers and subscribers an idea what's going on. I was in the scrap metal business for over 35 years, did scrap metal in the south, came north, and that's how I got all this heavy recyclable steel. So we did cars, or trucks and everything like that, vehicles. So we saved the carbs off, and we sent a lot of stuff down to my dad. in Brandon, Manitoba. So he'd have a good selection and he knew what was going on. So that's why we have all different styles of carburetors, everything like that. Okay, so this is the prime, or the last of the good pickings, because we went through and got rid of the junk. Okay, so we got some vehicles, we saved the motors and everything like that. So we have this chrome covered 350 small block Chevy, which seems to have a little bit of performance items added to it. It came from a 86 rusted out Suburban from Wisconsin. The thing came up here on a fishing trip and it cost too much money to send it back or everything like that. So we've never touched this one. We just tossed the motor and transmission into the 38 Maple Leaf. So the carburetor, everything is all the same as it was back on the 86 Chevy Suburban. So it runs and drives, and it has no problem powering the 38 Maple Leaf around with the scrap metal deck on the back. So this is a winter project, that's why it's in the shop. Okay, we did a cleanup in Kennesaw, Saskatchewan. Yes, Kennesaw, Saskatchewan. That's Cree for fish. That's where Johnny G hauls the fish out when they commercial fish. So there was an 86 Chevy C10 square body, or whatever they're called. It has the 305 in it. So this is the newest motor of the Kingdom fleet, and it's a pain in the ass because it has the one-piece seal at the back. So we got it up and running. It had a bad cam in it and everything like that, so we switched it out and tossed in a used cam. Yeah, it's a used one. Shoved it in, called it good, and it runs and drives. So we proved it last weekend, taking the carburetor off of here. See how we just took it? This carburetor runs, drives, and powers this truck no problem. But when we put it on the 37 Tribute truck out here, it would not idle. There's the 37 Tribute truck. Okay, after figuring out why it wouldn't idle or learning, I watched a YouTube video from Quadrajet Power. And the first 1 minute of the video that I clicked on just randomly, alright, he states in his video, Quadrajet carburetors are made specifically for that motor. So you can't take it and grab it and shove it on something else because it won't work. Well, we just proved that. The 46 Chevy truck drives around with that 305, but we put it on here, it wouldn't idle, it wouldn't run. So then we had to really start to learn, because that's when it clicked into my little mind. Yes, I was sober at the time, that this motor is now running exactly the same as the original 1984 motor and then 37 Dodge Hot Rod, which would not idle in 2015. So then we have to learn. Okay, in 2009, we went up to Kennesaw Rally Road and picked up a truck that did a spin around and everything like that. It was a 1985 Chevy square body. The fellow was caribou hunting, coming back on the slippery road. The Kennesaw Rally Road shows no mercy. Yes, they should have those European guys, you know, the Red Bull guys race their European cars on it. So the guy did a complete 360 and put the truck in the ditch backwards, but in the meantime, it blew up the differentials and transfer case, right? Because everything was spinning. So we acquired the truck. So here's that motor. This is a 305 from that 85, and the carburetor and everything's the same. Never touched it, just put the manual choke on. It runs, it drives. It's in the 45 Chevy truck here. So we want to change out these truck motors to have the RV camp. So I was going to do that at a later date. I was going to fix all the carburetors up to get them to run smooth and everything like that. Now I'm learning. Yes, I'm learning and realizing that if I took the time and fixed all these carburetors in these trucks, you know, gave them the freshen up kit or whatever, not a rebuild, a freshen up kit, then when I change the camshaft to an RV down in there, that means that the carburetor isn't going to work. So then you have to get another kit. This is also too the joys of a split hood on these trucks. We have to put the rain gauge on, or rain flap thing, and you can see those squirrels were on top of the motor. I like it when Jack the Raven comes back, because then all of a sudden we don't have no squirrels. I don't know why. Okay, this is the welding sleigh. That was the welding truck at one time. Yes, the welding truck, but it wouldn't pass the safety to go on the road in 1996, so we made it the welding sleigh. But also, too, we have to turn back time to understand the welding truck. It was a 1946 Chevy truck with a 350 small block Chevy in it and an automatic transmission. Okay, this is Lynn Tractor number 1. It got up and on, how would you say, moving back in 1998. Yes, 1998, the year the staff was born. We had the welding truck driving around the yard here, or we put a tow bar on it if we had to go out welding somewhere. So we needed a motor, okay? We had two Lynn tractors that had the Cummins diesel in, but the mine took them diesel motors out for their little choo-choo train, their little narrow gauge train that ran from the L mine to the main mill in town. So these little Cummins motors were popular in the trains. So we got these Lynn tractors, two of them with no motors. So how do you get them up and going? We're flat broke, we have no money. So the welding truck is no longer the welding truck anymore. So we tossed in the small block Chevy with the automatic transmission. Oh, the shadows. Okay, so the automatic was here. It lasted about 10 years, and then we blew it up. So then we wanted a standard transmission because we can leave it in gear. And the Lynn tractor transmission is back there. There's a 5-speed back there. So we're using it like a 5 and 4, like in the tandem gravel trucks of the 70s, right? So this motor, okay, back in the day, you could phone and have a custom built motor. Okay, so a friend of mine in Carb, Manitoba, he was running the GM dealer and he had good mechanics. And the funny thing is, most of his mechanics took the automotive course at the college with my dad. So I needed a motor and a transmission, and this is what happened. There wasn't 200 phone calls, 200 emails. Well, emails weren't even around back then, but that was it. Just ordered a motor, it arrived. So this motor here has the RV cam in it for pulling. Okay, so the core went back to the guy who built this motor. I don't know who it was, or I think it was a fella in Brandon, Manitoba that did it. There's the Quadrajet carburetor. All right, that's 35 years old. Okay, the welding truck, I think it was 93 or 94 is when we tossed the motor in. So there's 30 years exactly for a motor with running and that carburetor. That carburetor's never been touched, never had a carb kit or anything like that. I was thinking of freshening it up. So ordering a kit for it, I would just screw it up because I have to figure out what the fella did to make this carburetor work with the RV cam. Then once I learn off of this carburetor, then I can start changing camshafts in these other trucks and upgrade the carburetors. Yes, we have that 4-speed transmission, which Rodney found all the parts and pieces because it's obsolete. We're going to be putting it back in here. Yes, we're going to do it. Yes, we're going to do it. And then we can be up and running and having fun. Okay, back a couple years ago, I was drinking professionally and I thought I had some harebrained idea of putting that V12 in here. Well, it's totally wrong. V12s are for rat rods and that's it, not for Lynn tractors. So we got tired of that V12 and the water pump leak, so we yanked it out and we tossed in the motor. Yes, from the 78 Chevy square body that was so rusted, we scrapped it. Now we find out it's worth a lot of money in the southern part of the States because what we consider as rusted out up here is good down there. They'll fix it. All right, so this is a complete 78 Chevy motor, transmission and everything. We just took it out and tossed it in. Yes, tossed it in. And we had to play with the carburetor. All right, this is a local truck, a WHO-ville. The guy thought he was a mechanic and he took it to a mechanic in town here who, wow, how would you say? There was so many mistakes on this here. I could have wrote a whole book on why this truck wouldn't run. Like at the coffee shop, all this guy did was talk about his truck and how it wouldn't run, how it wouldn't run, how it wouldn't run, and all this stuff. So, yeah, I learned a lot trying to get this thing up and running. We fixed a lot of his mistakes. It runs good, but we're going to put that RV cam in. We've never really touched the carburetor. We just cut all the crap off, simplified it, made it simple from what that fellow was doing locally. So it's kind of funny because I remember that square body truck driving around town and the exhaust out of it, or you'd have the hood open, you'd be adjusting on it and everything. So I kind of know the history of this truck, and it'll make me very pleased and very proud that if I change it and put an RV cam, upgrade that carburetor, and this thing runs smooth and pull some sleighs, that'll make me very happy because I bettered the motor where everybody else was failing. They were going down the wrong garden path and everybody was helping them on the wrong garden path. Okay, I'm back over at the Hoe Shack after a little memory trip there. Now I can watch this video a couple years from now and remember what was going on. All right, so this is what we want to do today is fix these leaks. You got to remember this Hoe Shack extension was tossed on here pretty quick because I was hurting my back opening the container doors. So this has served us well for the summer. Now let's seal it in so we can actually have a wood stove in here, probably where those batteries are. We have a steel pipe up there for a chimney. So we have to put the wood stove and chimney in before we put the roof on and finish it off. And we will get some spray foam sealant from Sir Rodney but after we close up some of these gaps, because this was a quick temporary, how would you say, extension, because I couldn't open and close the door. So we really like getting in the hoe in and out, and the hoe is now sitting on a dirt floor, so now any moisture or snow melts off of it, it will disappear. It will go down into the ground. So we're going to have to move out this motor here. This is the original small block Chevy from the 1984 build of the 37 Dodge. So we're going to set it in the Dodge for now, because we need the room, and we're looking at purchasing what do they call, motor cranes or motor hoists or whatever, engine lift, because we think we can roll it around in here for lifting stuff up on the workbench, because I'm getting older, so it's lifting cylinder heads up and stuff I used to do when I was younger is out of the question. Plus we can also scoot it out the door here, because we have a steel floor, so we can run something to the door here for the loader to pick it up. All right, let's go have a morning coffee with a little shot in it, and then we're fully motivated.
Saturday morning in WHO-ville, and it's just after 9 a.m. and I'm getting up and doing laundry. The dogs have actually been out since about 7. This is the temperature we're sitting at already. It's 19 degrees Celsius, which is 66 degrees Fahrenheit. We even had the feels like on the bottom. As you can see, it is pretty smoky off into the distance. You can actually smell it in the air. Now it's time to head inside, make a quick breakfast, and at 11 a.m. I'll go do some shopping and head to the kingdom. Almost 11 a.m. and I just got the quad out. Now I'll head up into WHO-ville and do some shopping, then go over to the kingdom and see what my dad's up to. Pretty sure he needs my help moving the motor into the 37, so I'll get a little video of that. I'm not sure what else we'll be doing today. 11:30 and I just made it back to the kingdom. I ended up stopping at 2 different stores to do some shopping, and the one bag here was about $48. I was able to grab some pork chops, my dad's honey dill dip, and some pudding. Those are his dog treat cups, and then in this bag here we have fries and pizza and a bunch of stuff that he had on the list. Let's haul everything inside. Almost 12 p.m. and I'm down at the shop now. We are going to quickly put the motor into the 37 here. That way my dad has something to work on this afternoon. So my dad's going to get onto the loader and then we'll hook the motor up. 12 p.m. lunchtime, we just got the motor in the 37. All we have to do is put the pins in. It's even lined up at the end there, as you can see. So let's head on into the shop and see what else my dad's up to. One of the tires on the 69 keeps going flat, so my dad's going to bring it up from beside the house down to the shop. That way he can keep an eye on it and see how long it takes for the tire to go flat again. Plus he can get an idea on where the leak is and fix it. Just after 12 p.m. and I'm officially done in the kingdom. Now I'll head inside, grab my dog treats and the last of the groceries, and go back into WHO-ville and make lunch. Just after 12:30 and I made it back from the kingdom. Now it's time to head inside, put all the groceries away, then let the dogs out and make a quick lunch. I think I'm just going to have leftovers from last night. We're not going to be doing anything in the kingdom today, so I'll just do my weather and laundry later, and then I'll go back around 4 p.m. and see what my dad's up to. 2 p.m. and this is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's 28 degrees Celsius, which is 82 degrees Fahrenheit. We even had the feels like on the bottom. It is extra warm out there today, kind of humid as well. Not many bugs out there, and there's not much of a wind either. Now it's time to head inside, finish up my laundry, let the dogs out, and then around 4 p.m. go to the kingdom. Almost 4 p.m. and I'm just getting ready to head back to the kingdom and see what my dad's up to. I have a bunch of containers in this bag here. My dad likes to use these in the shop for his tools and stuff, so let's head on over and see what he's up to. Just after 4:30 and I made it to the kingdom. Sure is hot out here today. Even the dogs are hiding away where it's nice and cool. Tomorrow I'll give you guys a garden update there. Looks like my broccoli is starting to blossom a little bit, so we'll check that out. Now I'll head down to the shop and see what my dad's up to. Almost 4:30 and I'm officially done in the kingdom. We're not doing anything today. My dad's just tinkering around on a few things. So I'll head back inside, then go to WHO-ville and do the weather close to 5.
Okay, after lunch in the kingdom, and I got thinking while I was having lunch and reviewing the video this morning of all the carburetors. So who says that this carburetor is not the one for it? That's why it won't run with the, how would you say, the three-quarter inch cam, as they call it, the three-quarter inch lift cam or whatever. So I dug out a picture from 1989. All right, Dad took lots of pictures of this truck in 1989. He made a lot of changes to it. Because I went away for a year, I was on one of those government holiday plans, you know, 1 year, 3 meals a day type thing. So he had basically no communication with Dad, and he kind of took over the truck and made lots of changes. So this is the picture of the motor. We didn't believe in chrome back then, because when we built the truck, it was for going to events on the weekends, because we were going to become a hot rodder and attend all the hot rod events and travel all over North Dakota, South Dakota, and everything. But the summer of 85, we traveled to Calgary and then into Golden, BC. We went to Minot, North Dakota, because we parted ways early in the summer with the hot rodders. So if you look at this picture here, we'll try and get the glare just right. You can see the fuel line going into the carburetor. You can see the big nut. So that's straight on. All right. I think it's that style of carburetor coming straight out. This is the carburetor that was on the truck. And it's turned 90 degrees. Like, there's no way that would show up in the picture. Okay, so this carburetor does not work on that motor. Okay, but also too, we have pictures of it here. All right. So there's a picture back in the Snow Lake days after the Great Divorce. That would be the early 90s. That's my Miller welder that we had in there. We were welding. The truck was now a welding truck, the 4-speed. Months he was blowing up, we're running a 3-speed because we went to the junkyard or the garbage dump there and got a transmission. So that's what kept us going. So the truck was running at 40 below. We were doing all sorts of things. We went from being a hot rod to a work truck. It would run and drive in the winter. So now, when it left here in 2006, it was running, driving, and then it came back after Dad's death. Okay, he was of sound mind and everything when he passed away. Okay. So it's not like he kind of lost it and made some changes. But this carburetor does not work on it. So looking at these needles and seats and all that crap to say that it will work with a 3/4 inch lift cam is totally wrong. So I'm glad I caught myself and not, how would you say, trying to copy this and think it's going to work. All right. But also too, I also make fun of my dad making lists and everything. Here's the rebuild of that motor back in 1984. This was done at the college in Brandon. So there we are. So there's everything on the motor, and I found his handwritten notes, so I copied his handwritten notes. The gears in the rear end were 208, okay? That was giving us the speeds of 145 miles an hour, plus the fact this truck was a dog to 30 miles an hour, all right? So now let's go out to the truck. Okay, we're out at the truck here. This is the original 37 Dodge hot rod truck from the 1984 build, and that's the 69 Chevy that's made to look like the 67 Chevy from my wasted youth. I drove it in high school while I worked on the 38 Dodge. Oh, these lips. And that's the tribute truck right there. All right, so if you notice, everything is painted here except for the U-bolts, okay? So Dad and Chevy rear ends were a dime a dozen back then. As you can see, I'm trying to find the codes for it. We're buffing and buffing and buffing, but we can't find the numbers for this rear end, but it's a dead giveaway by the curve of the end cap or the cover. So this rear end, okay, and what we were doing is changing them out. All right, there was 2 rear ends. There was the one for hot rodding, okay, with the 208 gears, and then this one here has 373s or something in it. We popped the cover off in 2021, I think it was, trying to figure this out. Okay, so the rear end was changed in 89. I think Dad did it so he could take this camper. Oh, okay, here's a picture of the rear end in 1989 because he photo documented this truck before he went to the States for insurance purposes. All right, let's see if we got enough talent here. All right, picture down, picture up. I can do this with beer in one hand. All right, so here he is there. in 1989 at the Street Rod Nationals in St. Paul, Minnesota. There was 5,000 hot rods there, and he pulled that Triple E trailer. That's the lady from the camper next door. Mother didn't go, so Dad had a good time according to his credit card, and Mom always brought that up, that he had a really good time on his credit card. All right, so to pull that trailer, he would have to have this rear end in it with the 373 gears or whatever it was, and he could go along down the highway. I know for a fact when it had the 208 gears in it, this truck would not pull. It was a dog till 30 miles an hour, so you're hanging out with your friends. Nobody could afford tow trucks back in the day, so if your buddy broke down, you threw out the tow chain. Everybody carried chains and tools back in the day, and you just tried to pull your friend off the highway or back to home to his farm or whatever. This truck will not pull. It wouldn't pull, okay? So then when they tried to charge me with laying black rubber in downtown Brandon, we took the judge. When we stood in front of the judge there in court, this truck will not lay rubber. So we went out and I took him for a quick ride, and he agreed it was a dog to 30 miles an hour. But at 70 miles an hour, you could take that 4-speed Muncie, put it in third gear, go from fourth to third, kick down the Quadrajet 4 barrels, open them up, and you're gone. This truck was made to run, and that's what Dad did. He built it for highway cruising because we traveled every weekend. So if we weren't in Calgary or in Minot, North Dakota, we were at 1 hour away at some camp or having fun or some event. We're always traveling on the weekend, and that's what this truck was built for. So we're learning about these carburetors, and I just about caught myself making a mistake trying to copy. That's what I say. That's why Sir Rodney's a good parts man. When I told him that the tribute truck had a 3-speed Chevy transmission from a 78, he said, I don't care. I want the measurements, because he's going to make sure it's correct. So I caught myself making a mistake with the carburetor. I was going to assume. So now we have to figure out what is required to make these Quadrajet's carburetors run with a 3/4 inch lift cam on these trucks here, because we have this one here, the original one, and over here we have this one. I am so glad in 2015 that we stopped driving it, and I had to learn. Like I said, I had to learn why this truck wouldn't run. I didn't run out and buy a new carburetor, which was a good thing because I'd still have the same problem. Oh my, this learning is hard on a guy. All right, let's have a drink and celebrate. Okay, the asshole boss thought the plan today was to get the wood stove installed in here and figure out a chimney before we do any roofing. Well, guess what? It's too hot. Yeah, it's too hot to do anything, and plus we're having fun, going down memory lane working on the hot rods. So get these carburetors figured out. These doors will have to be changed out to open out so we have room. So I think if we put this wood stove in here, this will work out better. This will work out good because this wood stove is just sitting in the boxcar waiting for the next project. Okay, everybody working on Quadrajet carburetors has a fancy stand. Okay, so if I buy it for $10 or whatever, have it delivered to the end of the world, duty fees and everything, find out it's a flimsy piece of junk, it'll cost me $50 postage or whatever. So why not just build it? So I went over here with a gasket, and you always save all your pieces. There we go, reach down, perfect. All right, let's take the plasma cutter, cut some holes, weld some bolts on it. Now we have a carburetor working stand, and it couldn't cost me much. It'll only take 1 beer to build this one. Okay, that only took 1 beer to do the project, and I kind of made the mistakes along the lines. I should have done it quite differently. But also too, I got to use, everybody's ready for it? The Hobart. No, that's the ProPoint 30A Plus. See, it's been a while since I've marketed these products or said how good they are, because that's what's keeping these projects going. So we use the plasma cutter, the ProPoint 30A Plus, and we cut out the pieces right there. We traced out the gasket to be fancy. Yes, fancy. That's a good song by Reba McEntire. She's a classy lady. Oh, and she's up in age too. All right, so what I did was I put the bolts through. These are the bolts I had, okay? Shorter bolts would have been nice, but at my age, me need it closer to my eyes, okay? So up higher off the bench. Also, too, I started welding on it, and then I panicked because if I weld too much on it, this will warp the little plate, and then these rods are the things, I should have done it differently, sort of thing. I should have made it so these bolts, the bolts were threaded down or whatever, so it would go there. So I should have had them upside down, threaded in, not weld. So that's why the belt welds aren't that good, because I panicked and I didn't want to, how would you say, heat distortion. That's a big word. All right, so over here we used the Hobart Handler 100 for the welds. We had it on volts for victory, number 1, and 30 for wired speed. Yes, I should have done it differently. I should have cut the heads off the bolts and did it. But what do you, oh well. We're learning, we're having fun, and let's have a beer to celebrate the Quadrajet stand. Yes, and it kind of works. Okay, 3 o'clock beverage time in the kingdom, and I'm hiding in the hose shack because it's gotten very hot out. So I came out here, it was kind of hiding and getting organized with all the carburetor parts. Yes, and then I went to the trailer there, and we have a rebuilt carburetor that was on the 86 Dodge head hanger, and the old one we took off. Okay, it was 2016, we changed it out. That head hanger was an 86 Dodge. I think it was the Ram 150 or something, or 100. It was gifted to us. We drove it for almost 20 years. It served us well, but it was costing too much money. So like it was falling apart. So why fix it when we're doing the same amount of work on the film trucks, the 67 and 69? That way it's all Chevy in the kingdom. So I sat down and went through all the carburetor here and got the a little tub of nicky knacks. You always need little nicky knacks. Also too, Autoline in Winnipeg, Canada, where Sir Rodney worked there one time when he was young and had all his hair. He is the rebuilder of this. So if you order from Rock Auto, because I ordered this through Rock Auto and it came the next day because I came out of Winnipeg and it was on the mail truck the next day. So that surprised me. All right. So the poor guy getting these carburetors down in the States, there's the throttle plate. That's the original screws from the one that wasn't rebuilt. The rebuilt one had this Robinson straight screwdriver or the Robinson, the square one. So if you're in the United States of America, Robinson square-headed screwdrivers aren't down there or whatever because of a dispute with the car manufacturers back when they're building cars. Okay, so something about Robinson being Canadian and Canadian only, so down the States you would have a Torque. Yes, Torque screws. So that would screw up everyone. I was smiling when I seen that, knowing that this was rebuilt in Canada and Winnipeg, and they threw in some square-headed screwdriver. All right, let's go have a beverage, because to take this apart really costs nothing except for one beer. Now I have all these nicky knacks, so when I'm looking for a spring or a bolt or a screw, I can find it in the nicky knack thing. Okay, the staff told me we went up to plus 30 degrees. Yes, but it doesn't feel that hot. I don't know, because there's no humidity. Not like in July when I wear my shorts. Yes. All right, so I'm hiding out in the hose shack. I went to the storage trailer, and got more carburetors. Let's stay focused and get rid of the crap. So we got the Quadrajets here, and then we have these single barrel ones that we use on the 38s, the 39s, and we have the 67 Chevys over here. Okay, so here's a board. This is the magic board. It's the template for the Lombard skis. These carbs have no use for me. They'll be worth nothing at my estate sale. So you have the Quadrajet here, I think they are. It's called a 2-jet Rochester. And then these look like the Quadrajet 4 barrels, but in a 2-barrel form. But we don't need them, okay? Because we use the Quadrajet 4 barrel as a 2-barrel carb. And then these are the original ones that came with them. With the old trucks. I think they're Carter. All right, whoever pays the postage on this stuff out of here by the Canada Post, okay, so that'll be United States Postal Service to America, these are yours. Yes, I'll box them up. Staff will take it to the post office, find out how much it is to go to your address. You want them, you pay the postage, they're yours. Yes, because I don't feel like really throwing them out, because like now these carbs are 40, 50, 60 years old, 70 years old. They're hard to get parts. And that's the thing is, might as well get rid of them now instead of at my estate sale. All right, let's continue working and we can finish out the day.
5 p.m. and this is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's 30 degrees Celsius, which is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. We even had the feels like on the bottom. It's been extra hot out there today, but that wind is nice. But it's also a warm wind, so I can't have the windows or anything open or the house will be hot. It's actually really cool in there right now. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in, make supper, and end my day.
Okay, I made it to 5 o'clock and that beverage is tasting way too good. But we learned a lot on the carburetors. We got things figured out. Plus, we cleaned up a lot of shelf space on that storage trailer. Getting things organized creates more space. That means we can get more assets later on. All right, let's scroll over here, see what the flags are doing. There's not a breeze. There's nothing. They're in their natural state of being limp. All right, let's go enjoy some beverage. Oh, we got to walk the dogs, enjoy some beverage, and make a video. Talk to you later.